Hi parents of Scorpio children, thank you so much for watching. You are watching Parental Guidance, the one and only show on YouTube devoted to giving you monthly insights on how to better connect with your children. So if you haven't already, please watch the monthly introductory video. I know that this spread looks a lot different, and in that first video it will explain, if you haven't seen it already, why I'm using different cards, the decks that I'm using, what each card stands for, and any like overview insights and happy housekeeping things and whatever. So it's interesting because your child is embodying the cow in that doesn't help you, but it's the cow in reverse. But so you can hopefully read this if it's not too like not faded or foggy, but it's, you know, not sharp. That's the cow energy. It represents fertility, purity, divinity, and it's in the reverse. And the beautiful thing about this card is it helps if you can see it like this. But Scorpio has elements of divinity and fertility, even if it's maybe like somewhat on the darker side. And so it's like it's the shadow of the cow, essentially. So almost for this to be in the reverse almost feels like your child is in their element, if that makes sense. But on top of that, their overall like essence deals with like, how do I want to say, something is closed off, something is a little dark, FYI. Now their vibration this month is going to be about grounding themselves. They have the Auburn card, and it speaks ironically of regeneration. So it's like they may be drawn to grounding themselves or becoming more down to earth in November, which November is their month. So happy birthday, Scorpios. Your birthday is also in October as well. And I believe they had this card last month. They had the red jasper, except I think it was in the upright. So this is somewhat alarming to me because the red jasper is like a love card. It speaks of romance. Yes, dear. Okay, watch another one. That's fine. I have a visitor. Not a visitor, but you know what I mean. On this show. But the jasper red normally speaks of nurture and care and protection and all these good, loving, like outward vibes. And this also feels like a block. It's in the reverse. So maybe a love is not going to be returned, or there's a block there when it comes to the challenge for the month. Now, their emotion that they're going to be feeling, and rightfully so, if there's a love being withdrawn, is fear. Maybe fear of the unknown. And it just says that I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love, which, you know, speaks to what's happening here. So this is confirmation. But, you know, just be advised that there may be elements of them trying to accept this fear energy. They may try to like overpower it, override it, you know, stuff it, pretend that it's not there, deny it that it's there. But that's the energy that they're feeling. It's the absence of love. You know, that's it. I mean, it totally confirms this, because if this is saying that there's like an absence of love flowing, this fear card confirms it, because there are only two energies, fear and love. That's what this it says. The outcome of all choices in life is determined by two emotions, you know, fear or love. So there's definitely a challenge here. There's an absence of love. Now their goal, or what their overall theme is you know, they're not healthy. They have the I am healthy card in reverse. You know, today I will get out and move for 60 minutes. It's not to say that they'll catch a cold, or they'll, you know, they could just be sluggish, or it could be something is out of balance. An emotional health is out of balance. Something is out of balance. I'm just going to say that because I can't, that's the general idea. What you see here is over the course of the 4 weeks, and I know there's 5 weeks in November, but this is like, you know, the first part, the second part, the third part, and the end, the beginning, the middle, and the end of November. These are some of the energies that your child will experience. So the first one, the Regeneration card in reverse, it confirms the Auburn card, and it's so funny. You got trees here, and then a tree starting to regrow. The irony. You know, nothing happens by happenstance with the universe, which is so cool. But this is speaking to, let me find that. Yep. Okay, that's what I thought. Is it this one? Yep. Cool, cool. So it's talking about endings. Endings come in many forms. Now is the time to stop holding on to what must die. So this first week, I think that coming into November, there's already a wound. And they're holding on to something. It's like a lack of acceptance of something. You know, maybe someone keeps letting them down. Maybe they're not going to get this expectation that they keep striving for. That's essentially what it is. It's an expectation that, you know, they long to have met, and it just won't. And it's struggling to accept that. And it's when they are able to let that go, then the healing can happen. The transformation can begin. In the second week of November, they have the building blocks in reverse. And they're going to probably start assessing things pertaining to this relationship, regardless of the age. There's no, you know, no limit. This can even be for adult children as well. You know, infants to, you know, late adults, elderly adults. It does not matter if you are a child to somebody. And so they're going to start just looking at their foundation. Look at what's broken, what needs to be assessed. So they're going to go inward and start thinking, which is what Scorpios do. They can hyper obsess over things. And they're just going to be contemplating and processing, and that's okay. Their feelings were hurt, and you know, that's what they're going to do. Now, the beautiful thing about the third week is they are putting in the work for the long haul. It speaks of endurance and strength and sticking with something that is worth it. It's like, no matter what, I'm not going to give up. And it's just, if it's a relationship, it even says you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong note played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. So it's not necessarily a long-term upset, but it is a slight that affects them. It's another layer to the wound, you know, but they're still going to take on this, okay, they hurt me, this hurts, it sucks, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep persevering, and I'm not going to let this go. And finally, towards the end of the month, they have the To Be Fair card. And, you know, I don't know why they're pushing through, but it makes sense. This speaks of, in the reverse, of course, it speaks of injustice and inequity are a part of life, but they do not have to define your experience. So this is definitely a time of closure. I just think that if there's a hurt, they're reevaluating, they're moving forward, and they're just accepting where things stand. Yes, dear. Okay, make it small. All right, I'll take a break after this one. So they have the self-employment card as what is the change for the month. And I almost feel like, you know, because if they're a child, you know, they may not be self-employed. They're not going to lose their, you know, self-employed job. It's quite possible, but I'm not getting it that way. This more speaks to me of having to depend on somebody or at the mercy of depending on somebody else. You know, like their self-employment is like, yeah, your business is taking off. You're going to be self-employed. And the fact that it's in the reverse, now is not a time to step out on their own, that there's going to have to be a level of dependence on somebody else. And maybe, however, it's not a good feeling for them. You know, it's having to make that hard choice like, ugh, I don't want to, you know, this person is undependable. They're not reliable. But they're having to, between a rock and a hard spot, just accept something. They have family harmony. That's the solution this month. There may need to be a conversation to bring this about, or thankfully and hopefully this will just naturally evolve on its own. But this card says, your loved ones form a strong pillar of support. Embrace their love and put past issues behind you. So whatever this is, and it's funny you have, you know, the cards of the same color. I love when cards speak and confirm each other. And this is in reverse, and then you have harmony. So it's like towards the end of the month, the solution is everything's going to work out. How you can help your child is just by honoring them, honoring their feelings. They're going to come to you if they're old enough to speak. But some way they're going to communicate their frustrations, and you are just there to hold space for them. And the back of this card, and I'll show you in a second, it says, care for your soul. Honor the divinity within you by practicing extreme self-care. So model that for them. You know, model and encourage them to practice extreme self-care. Because this will be an emotionally hard month for children of all ages, but especially those young children who are old enough to step away from their adults that make choices for them. And so finally, and it's so funny, it's like this is the one card that I didn't get like a full description on, but I can almost guarantee it's like you're setting sail and you are walking away from something. It's like you are the captain of your own ship and you are directing things and where they are going to go this month. Yep, that's exactly what it means. So this card is talking about flights of fancy, leap of faith, taking the next step. And it says if you take the leap of faith, oh, the places you'll go, but you'll never know until you try. So you are taking some risks this month. You are forging your own path. And you are going for it. That's you walking strong and firm. And, you know, it's beautiful because when I pulled these cards, I was like, yep, that's exactly it. It takes courage. You're going to need courage to be able to do this. You know, whatever it is, that's how it applies. It's going to take courage to pursue whatever you're doing. But even looking at this woman in this card, she cannot walk like this without courage. Like, courage is in this picture. So hopefully you can read that. I do apologize that my camera is out of focus. I don't know why it's not picking up on that, but it says, I am committed to asking the universe for what I want on a daily basis and knowing I am worth the answers I receive. I am committed to stepping away from what I know I'm good at and taking the leap. Oh my gosh, verbatim. In every opportunity to try something different, something outside my familiarity, to act in every moment that presents itself. I will not hold back from new experiences or chances to change my own life for the better. So good for you for taking a leap of faith and embarking on a new career or a new platform, a new mindset, a new way of life, a new outcome. You're definitely like changing something, a behavior, and I'm proud of you. So I know that this is confirmation. When the cards like speak to each other and they confirm each other, I know that the message is on point for somebody. So please let me know in the comment section how this resonates with you. I appreciate the vibrations that I am getting from you, because it's just energy that goes back and forth, and that's how it is. Energy is not stagnant, it's always moving. So I appreciate you sharing this with someone who could use it. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes, and I look forward to hearing your comments. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you next month.